COM 430 interview. A leader to me is someone who always seems to have a great attitude no matter the circumstances. A leader is someone who you enjoy interacting with and somebody who you can learn from day in and day out. For these reasons, I decided to interview a friend of mine from work. Her name is Heather Gadoon. She's an assistant manager at Harkins Theaters with me. I've worked alongside Heather now for 2 years. Throughout my career with the company, Heather has always been a person that I could go to for anything, and she really puts her own spin on leadership, which I really enjoy. So that's why I picked her to interview. First question I asked is, what type of leadership style do you prefer? When I initially made these questions, the three options was authoritarian, democratic, and laissez-faire. As I read through the book with her and went over the democratic leadership style with the quote, "The leader adopting the democratic communication style encourages follower involvement and participation in the determination of goals and procedures." She immediately, after I went through all three, picked democratic. I think that she is someone who cares about her team and really enjoys the participation of others. She really works with the team, and she said that herself, that she'd rather make people around her happy and enjoy their jobs rather than her just boss them around. She wants them to have input. The second question I asked is, what are some of the things you do to prepare before entering your leadership role on a daily basis? Since we work in a movie theater, things that immediately popped in her head was, how busy is it going to be? Is Star Wars going to be showing? Is what came out? Stronger, I think, just came out this weekend. It's going to be pretty slow. So obviously picking, is it going to be busy? Is it going to be slow? And then she touched on situational leadership. She didn't necessarily say situational, but she said finding out how busy and how slow it's going to be, then you can adapt your leadership qualities to the needs of your followers, which I think lined up perfectly with situational leadership, because obviously on a busier day, your followers are going to be a little more needy, they're going to be a little upset, you're going to have to help them out a little bit more rather than if we were slow. Heather's been with the company a little longer than I have, so I asked her, how did you become a leader? And she said that naturally she learned from others at work, but she was also a captain over softball teams in high school, which made it a little more easy for her. Was there a moment in time where you realized that you are a leader? She really enjoys teaching, so when you have to do orientations at work, being able to go through things with her followers like that is something that she really strives in and really enjoys. So she said that's when she realized that she was really good at her job, really good at teaching people, probably because she wants to be a teacher, but that was her response there. Was there ever a time where you thought you would be in a follower position forever? Heather responded with yes, because she said when she first joined Harkins Theater, she's been with the company for 5 years now, and I've only been with the company for 2. She said she was in a follower role with them, which is what you start out with, for 3 years, and she just didn't know if she could find the motivation and initiative to take that next step, which I found very interesting, because I naturally want to climb to the top. She kind of was at a steady pace and didn't really need or feel a need to improve, I guess. Next question was, how do you prevent failing? I think this is an important question, because if you don't know how to prevent failing as a leader and pick your team up when they're down, then I don't know. I think that's a huge part of leadership, and you're not really a leader if you can't help your team out like that, I guess. And she responded with, learn from previous mistakes and situations, and in stressful situations, know that if you are the leader, then and you stress out, then the rest of your team is gonna stress out as well. She used the rippling effect as an example. So kind of like a snowball effect. If you are the one that's stressing out at the top of the food chain, then it's just going to come down and why would someone be confident in their job if my leader can't even be confident? And that's something that she touched on, which I think is super important, especially working in a movie theater we're at. If you decide to have a bad day and freak out when it gets busy, then it's gonna cause some chaos. Why do you prefer being a leader rather than a follower? And she said you're more in charge of the outcome as a leader. Do you think that making the decision to become a leader paid off? She said yes, being in a leadership role is much more rewarding, especially when your decisions as a leader end up being the reason why your team succeeds or fails. So you just kind of likes that pressure that being a leader puts on you, which I thought was really cool. These are just some of the reasons why I believe Heather's a great leader. When I was coming up through the company, I used her as a role model myself. I think she's great at her job and definitely has a future as a leader in whatever she does. She wants to be a teacher, but I think that's a whole nother extent of leadership, because you're in charge of 20 plus kids when you do that. So I think that's super cool that she wants to do that. But I think Heather's a great leader, and I'm going to take what I learned from this interview and try to put it to my own leadership style, try to make some changes to my work as well, and do all I can to finish up my degree here in organizational leadership and continue on with leadership throughout the rest of my career. Thank you.